for the last 3 or 4 years. And this year seems to be just a tad different because we're not quite doing the year in review that we've done for, I believe, the 3 previous years. And the reason being is because David and I felt that we really wanted to convey what this year meant as far as the Rant Network, the world at large. Welcome, everybody. My name's Stuart Brisgell. That's David Solomon. He's got his Mickey Mouse ears on. Hope Mr. Iger's not going to get upset and go after him. But let's bringing you unfiltered, uncensored conversation on, believe it or not, this year doesn't seem such a wide range of topics, but we really did get out there. This podcast is dedicated on a platform on expressing opinions, thoughts, and experiences, and from a variety of perspectives. We try and give a variety of perspectives. David's in Montreal. I'm in Florida. There's a variety. Just kidding. All right, join us as we dive into the latest news, pop culture, so much more, from rants about absurdity, modern life, discussions of deeper issues affecting society. At the Rant Network, we got you covered. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. So sit back, relax, and let us start this exploration. So I started by trying to take a shot. But, David, I'm not going to give a monologue entrance. I'm just going to say, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you take a look at Time Magazine or any organization, whatever, they do their year in review, but they also have their person of the year or concept of the year, and blah, blah, blah. Ladies and gentlemen, us at the Rant Network, we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to congratulate the disruptor of the year, and that is the left. A movement that has extraordinary disruptive powers, almost religion-like. It has its religious leaders. It has its movement. It has its beliefs. It has its hate. Like all religion, it believes it is superior to others. Like other religions, it believes it is better, smarter, and it knows the path better than anybody else. The left this year showed and reared its ugly head so many times this year. And while in the last, 3 months, Stuart and I have been talking about the war between Israel and Hamas and how the left literally showed the ugliest side of itself. It didn't just start there. If you look back at this calendar year, it went out and attacked Riley Gaines, who was trying to talk about women in sports and to try to keep women's sports alive. She was vilified because she did not believe that women should be playing in the same league as women. A belief. And again, the left took their belief and decided that they were right, they were superior, and attacked Riley Gaines. Physically, they spit on her. They tried to destroy her reputation on social media. Again, the left got away with it, just like how other religions get away with their mantras. If you look back this year at the law, how many different times did people try to twist the law? We saw just recently that Colorado State Supreme Court and yesterday the Maine Supreme Court has decided to remove lower court, pardon me, the lower court, pardon me, or thank you for correcting me, remove Donald Trump off the ballot. The left decided that the law didn't matter. Election laws don't matter. They matter. They get to choose. I'll give another example. We've had nothing but racist remarks from the squad. We've heard it. We know it. But pulling the alarm to ensure that a vote wouldn't happen, a fire alarm, and lie about it again and again and again. And everybody on the left saying, you can't touch him. He's okay. My last point, Stuart, and I'll throw it right back to you, is kudos to MSNBC. MSNBC and the rest of these liberal media, left-leaning media, decided that they know what's right for you and for me. And earlier on this year, they called Ron DeSantis worse than Hitler. Now, think about it. We're December 29th, the end of the year. Ron DeSantis' campaign is not where we thought it was going to be. Nikki Haley has kind of gotten ahead of him. And MSNBC back then dubbed him worse than Hitler. But at the same time, the left leaning witches from the view, and I use the word witches and it rhymes with something else, they decided that Nikki Haley doesn't deserve to be on the ballot. A woman afraid to use her real name insults. Tim Scott was insulted as an African American. Stuart, the left in 2023 showed us one thing: rules for thee are not for me.
David, that is probably, if we were able to scrub the last year's podcast, I would say the most repeated phrase
It is.
it is, and it drove you bananas. And in fact, you've given me quite a laugh when you actually said it, because it's the most factual statement with a common thread for 2023. I think that corporate America has understood a little more that politics aren't the focus of a for-profit company. I think that Disney is trying to rewrite what it did and get out of gender neutral parks and get back in entertaining people. And hopefully Hollywood, being so silent about the October 7th massacre and their refusal to be heard on it, maybe they've decided maybe politics and our performing arts don't really belong together. And it's my hope for 2024 that we actually start to understand that we, the people, choose who's going to represent us, which is, as you pointed out, is the latest attack on democracy. Now, the left loves it when a left-wing person says down with democracy, right? A Republican likes to say democracy is the cornerstone of the Constitution of the United States. It has allowed every race, color, creed, minority to succeed, where in most countries you will not. If 25% of the world is Muslim, well, in 25% of the population, you're going to be lambasted for being anything other than a heterosexual person. Okay. So the last year has been spent focusing on 0.02% of any minority group. Not that these minority groups aren't important. The left would have you believe they're more important than 99.8% of the rest of the population. Just like this non-legal minded Maine person took Trump off the ballot with a lower court, knowing full well that it won't stand. But she gets to create a resume like an AOC, right? Like a Tlaib, of being this progressive wingnut. And, MSNBC, I hope in 2024, as the budgets and the profit and loss statements come out for news stations in the first quarter, gets decimated. Because when you have charlatans on the news representing the main newscast, right? The View, which lacks thereof, by five old maids that have nothing better to do with themselves than pick on the majority of the world. Why am I saying the majority of the world? Because 99% of the world really doesn't give a shit about transgender in sports. We really don't care. We really don't care on your sexual preference. In fact, we don't care what noun you use to describe yourself. He, she, it, cat, dog, ostrich. The world doesn't care. And the left has been trying to make us care about things we just don't care about. I personally care about life, liberty, and finding happiness with family and friends. David, we have been friends for a mighty, mighty long time. And we've had our differences and we've had our explosive conversations. But somehow we found commonality even on issues where we 100% can't agree, where I offend half your family or half your extended family. by using and uttering a single word. And that, David, is where I want to take this rant. Because if you have to be so vitriol about offending, so if you have to be treated so vitriolly by someone using a word when they may have used the word accidentally, may have used it ill, wrong, but you have to go after that person and have hatred towards a person, you have already failed. Because why? It's only a word. Words can hurt. But you got to take a step back and say, listen, what is the logic? What is the background of the conversation?
But you're
David,
not getting, but Stuart, you're not getting that.
no.
So the problem with today's world that we're hearing, and you said you went on this great piece, we don't respect each other, and that is the word that you're looking for. And
Yep.
the respect, the lack of respect, the lack of understanding, the lack of want of understanding. It's all about gaining something, power, votes, you call it whatever you want. We see why would someone say that life in Venezuela is better than life in the United States or Canada? Now I get it. Life ain't perfect, and it's funny because last night I had this whole conversation about it, where life is far from perfect, but we are way better off today as a society than we were 100 years ago, 200 years ago. We're way better off with a lot of things. Nothing is perfect, okay? And perfect, as my father likes to say, is in the next life. But what we have here today is a damn good situation. But in order for somebody to gain something, I have to disrupt. And this is what the left has been exceptionally good at.
I'm going to change
You
that
know,
word disrupt. It's not disrupt, it's destroy.
okay, that's actually even better word because they have simply, well, they're actually they haven't destroyed, they're trying to destroy our society. They are trying to destroy our institutions. We've talked about how they're trying to get rid of holidays. Any religion is taboo. I mean, how dare you?
Ah,
It's
speaking
funny
of,
because
yeah, they're trying to
yeah,
get rid of Chick fil A. They
well,
want to get rid of Chick fil
listen,
A.
Chick-fil-A is a whole other conversation.
I know
But the same
that's,
people, hold on, but the same people who are trying to get rid of Chick-fil-A are trying to put Disney on a pedestal after they released the Barbie movie, Marvels, and others, and they lost $1 billion. And the message that went to Disney is, your messaging, your politics aren't welcome. We saw that earlier this year with Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light. We saw that in a lot of other situations. Ladies and gentlemen, the left is yelling louder and being more disruptive, as we've seen on the streets all over North America recently, in your shopping malls, in other places. Because if they don't get what they want, Stuart, they go from disruption, as you said, to destruction. And that's frightening. And that's why we believe here at the Rant Network, we want to congratulate the left as being the disruptive movement that they are. Congratulations to the left. You're the one ruining our society. Stuart, let's
that's a marketing campaign. You're the one.
Stuart, let's wrap it up for 2023 because I know you won't be here next week, but let me give you the last word for 2023.
Last word for 2023, guys, is I wish everybody a health and happy holiday weekend. I hope you find some commonality with your friends, family, and loved ones. Politics isn't a reason to have disassociations of friends, but it's a reason to have conversation. And without conversation and debate, as my very much another named person, Walter Cronkite, says, if you don't have two sides, you can't get the truth. David, that's it for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been doing this a little bit differently this year. I want to wish everyone a healthy, happy, successful, and most of all, peaceful 2024. We hope and pray that the wars end in Ukraine, that Hamas gets disarmed, and that all peoples can live in peace and we can avoid more disruption. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on Monday. Even though it's New Year's, we'll be back Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. Check us out on all the social media channels, YouTube. We love you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, all the best.